I thought the worst was over after our divorce papers were signed. We still lived together, trapped by money, half friends, half strangers. Then she flew back to Korea that winter, and everything changed. One night, my phone rang, her voice shaking, crying, claiming she was being sued by the wife of the man she once cheated with. In that moment, I couldn't tell if she was a victim, or still lying to me. And that's where part 2 begins. I stared at the ceiling of my childhood bedroom, listening to the muffled sound of my parents talking downstairs. Their voices blended with the hum of the old air conditioner. I felt like a failure lying there, 20 pounds heavier than when I left for Korea, broke, and with nothing to show except a broken marriage and a resume nobody wanted. Are you going to just stay in bed all day? Hannah's voice came from the doorway. I'm not staying in bed, I muttered, sitting up. I just got up. You've been saying that every day, she snapped. You need to get a real job. DoorDash isn't going to save us. I know that. What do you want me to do? No one wants to hire a guy whose experience is teaching English abroad. Excuses. She crossed her arms, glaring at me. You think my parents would respect you if they saw you like this? I bit my lip. Well, they're not here, are they? Don't get smart with me, she hissed. The walls of my parents' house felt like they were closing in. I was 30, yet back under my parents' roof, being treated like a child. Every conversation with Hannah turned into an attack. That night at dinner, my mom asked, "How's the job search going?" I forced a smile. It's going. I'm applying. Hannah cut in, her tone sharp. He's not applying enough. He's wasting time driving around for DoorDash. My dad set his fork down. A job's a job. At least he's working. Give him a break. Hannah rolled her eyes. You always defend him. I stayed quiet, shoving rice into my mouth. I hated that they saw me like this, weak, cornered, barely hanging on. Later that night, I sat at my desk with the glow of the laptop on my face. Job postings blurred together. Hannah stood behind me, arms crossed. You're not even trying, she said. I've sent out 20 applications this week. Not enough. What do you want me to do, Hannah? Beg on the street? She leaned closer. Maybe then you'd understand how serious this is. Her words pierced me. I clenched my fists but said nothing. Weeks dragged by. The tension in the house grew thick. I delivered food until midnight, came home smelling like fries, and collapsed on the bed. Hannah never looked satisfied. Then one morning, my phone buzzed. A familiar company I had worked for before Korea wanted an interview. I got a call, I told Hannah, half afraid she wouldn't care. She raised an eyebrow. Which company? The one I worked for before we left. They want me back. She sighed, as if unimpressed. Good. Maybe now you can act like a man again. At the interview, I shook hands with the manager I'd known years ago. He smiled warmly. We could use someone like you again. Can you start next week? Relief washed over me. For the first time in months, I felt useful again. When I told Hannah, she simply said, about time. Still, the steady paycheck made things easier. My parents looked at me differently. My dad even clapped me on the back one evening. Proud of you, son. But Hannah's eyes stayed cold. Months later, she surprised me by landing a job at the same company. When she told me, I forced a smile. That's great, I said. She tilted her head. Don't sound so jealous. I'm not jealous, I replied quickly. It'll be nice, both of us working there. Her lips curved into a faint smirk. Let's see if you can keep up. Despite the tension, money started flowing again. We rented a small apartment. When we moved in, I stood in the living room surrounded by boxes and let out a shaky laugh. We did it, I said. Hannah looked around critically. It's small. It's ours, I insisted. For a brief time, life almost felt normal. We bought furniture together, cooked meals, and even had nights where we laughed. But beneath the surface, cracks spread. One evening, I left an empty monster can by the sink. I always did that, waiting until I did dishes to dump it. When Hannah saw it, her face twisted with fury. "Why do you leave those there? I told you not to." I frowned. "You've never said that before." "Yes, I did. Dump it now or next time I'll pour it over your pillow." I blinked at her. "Are you serious? It's just a can." "It's disrespect," she snapped. I dumped the can, my chest tight. Later, she apologized with a sigh. "Sorry, I overreacted." But the sting of her words lingered. We kept fighting, over dishes, money, my driving, even how I folded laundry. Each fight ended with her tearing me down, then apologizing the next day. I never knew which Hannah I'd wake up to, the warm one or the cruel one. One night, I whispered, "Why are you pushing me away?" She stared at me coldly. "Maybe because you never pull me close." Her words left me hollow. At work, we barely spoke. She kept her distance, laughing with coworkers but not with me. I overheard someone say, "Your wife is so charming." I forced a smile, but inside, jealousy and insecurity gnawed at me. At home, I asked, "Why do you treat strangers better than me?" She scoffed. "Because they don't annoy me like you do." I sat in silence, biting my tongue. The cycle continued, arguments, apologies, silence, repeat. Until one autumn night in 2024, after another screaming match about nothing, she said flatly, "We should get divorced." I froze. "You're serious?" "Yes. This isn't working." My throat tightened. "But." "No buts. We fight every day. We're not happy." I wanted to argue, to beg her to stay, but deep down, I knew she was right. "Fine," I whispered. Her eyes softened for a moment. "It's for the best." And just like that, we decided to divorce. But there was a problem, we couldn't afford to break the lease. So we stayed. Together but apart. Friends, sometimes lovers, always broken. One night, lying in bed side by side, I whispered, "Do you still love me?" She stared at the ceiling. "I don't know." I swallowed hard. "Because I still love you." Her silence said everything. Life went on. We worked at the same company, came home to the same apartment, ate meals in awkward silence. Sometimes, we laughed like old times. Sometimes, she touched me like nothing was broken. But I always felt the distance, the weight of something unspoken. At my parents' house one weekend, my mom pulled me aside. "Why do you look so tired?" I shrugged. "Work." She frowned. "No, it's her, isn't it?" I stayed quiet. "Son," my dad said later, "don't lose yourself trying to keep someone else." I wanted to believe I could still fix us. I wanted to believe love was enough. But every time Hannah looked at me with those cold eyes, I felt the truth pressing down. She was already gone, even if she still lived under the same roof. And I was too scared to admit it. For a while, I convinced myself things were fine. We had jobs, money, an apartment. From the outside, we looked normal. But inside, I was drowning, clinging to someone who was slipping away, piece by piece. I remember the night clearly. We were eating dinner in silence. I put my fork down and asked, "When did we stop being us?" She didn't even look up. "Maybe we never were." The words cut deep, sharper than any fight before. That night, lying in the dark, I realized, our marriage was already over. The divorce was only paperwork. I turned on my side, staring at her silhouette. "Hannah," I whispered, though I knew she was asleep. "Don't leave me completely." But the truth was, she already had. I shut the apartment door behind me, setting my keys on the counter. The hum of the fridge filled the silence. For once, I felt calm after a long day at work. I walked to the kitchen, cracked open a Monster, and took a sip. I left it half empty on the counter by the sink, just like always. From the bedroom, Hannah's voice cut through the quiet. "Why do you always leave those cans there?" I frowned. "What do you mean?" She stormed out, eyes flashing. "I told you to dump them in the sink. Do it now or next time I'll pour them all over your pillow." I blinked at her, caught off guard. You've never said that before. Not once. I did. You just don't listen. You never listen. It's just a can, I said quietly. Her voice rose. It's not just a can. It's you ignoring me, again and again. Do you enjoy disrespecting me? I picked up the can, poured it out, and slammed it into the trash. There. Happy? She glared at me, arms crossed. Don't talk to me like that. I clenched my jaw. Then don't threaten to pour soda on my pillow. The silence stretched until she muttered, "You're pathetic." The word stung like a slap. I stared at her, but she turned away, walking back to the bedroom. Later that night, she sat on the bed scrolling through her phone. I sat on the edge, my voice low. You don't have to talk to me like that. She sighed. I overreacted. Forget it. Do you even realize how you sound when you're angry? Her eyes met mine for a second. Do you realize how exhausting it is living with someone who doesn't care about the little things? I bit down my frustration. I care. I'm just not perfect. No, she said flatly, you're not. The argument ended, but the weight of her words lingered long after the lights went out. Days blurred together. Work. Home. Arguments over the smallest details. Why don't you put the toilet seat down? I forgot, Hannah. It's not the end of the world. It is to me. Or. Why did you park so close to the curb? I nearly tripped. I parked like that so another car could fit behind us. You're always making excuses. Each fight was the same, her voice sharp, mine defensive, ending with silence and regret. One night after dinner, she snapped because I loaded the dishwasher wrong. You can't just throw plates in wherever you want, she said. They'll get clean either way, I muttered. That's not the point. You don't respect how I want things done. Hannah, it's a dishwasher, not a sacred ritual. Her hand slammed against the counter. You think everything I care about is stupid. I froze, plate in hand. I never said that. You don't have to say it. I can feel it. I set the plate down carefully, trying to keep my voice steady. I'm tired of fighting over things that don't matter. She glared at me, tears welling in her eyes. Then maybe we shouldn't be together. The words knocked the air out of me. What are you saying? Nothing. Forget it. She stormed off, slamming the bedroom door. I leaned against the counter, heart pounding, wondering how we had turned into this. At work, she laughed with coworkers, smiling in ways she never smiled at me anymore. One afternoon in the break room, I asked softly, why do you act so friendly with them but never with me? She stirred her coffee, not looking at me. Because they don't drain me. Drain you? Her eyes flicked up, cold and tired. You exhaust me. I had no reply. That night, lying in bed, I whispered, do you hate me? Her voice was muffled by the pillow. I don't know. I stared at the ceiling, fighting back the ache in my chest. Because I still love you. She didn't answer. Autumn crept in. The fights didn't stop. They grew sharper, louder, cutting deeper each time. One evening, after a long day, she snapped because I forgot to pick up milk on my way home. I texted you. How could you forget? I was stuck in traffic. I didn't see the message until I parked. You always have an excuse. Always. Hannah, it's milk. I can go back out. Her eyes burned with fury. It's not about milk. It's about you never thinking of me first. I raised my hands, exhausted. I'm sorry. I'll go now. She shook her head. Don't bother. I'll do it myself. Like always. She grabbed her coat and slammed the door. I sank onto the couch, hands shaking. I wanted to scream, but only silence came out. By late 2024, the cracks had split wide open. We sat at the table one night, eating in silence. The clink of silverware was the only sound. Finally, she put down her fork. We should get divorced. I stared at her. You're serious? Yes. Her voice was calm, almost too calm. This isn't working. We're not happy. I swallowed hard. We fight, sure, but we can fix this. Her eyes softened for a brief second before hardening again. No. We can't. We're both miserable. I wanted to argue, to beg, but the weight of her voice crushed me. After a long silence, I whispered, if that's what you want. It's what we need, she replied. The room fell quiet again, but something inside me broke. The irony was cruel. We agreed to divorce, but neither of us could afford to move out. The lease bound us together. We slept in the same bed, sometimes on opposite edges, sometimes tangled like old habits we couldn't shake. One night, as we lay there, I whispered, do you think we'll ever be okay? Her voice was distant. I don't know. I turned toward her in the dark. Because I still want us. She stayed quiet for so long I thought she'd fallen asleep. Then she whispered, maybe it's too late. I closed my eyes, heart heavy, realizing I was living with someone who was already gone. The papers were signed, but the walls of our apartment still held both of us. Divorce on paper, marriage in practice. It was a strange kind of limbo, and every day I woke up not knowing which version of us I would face. One morning, I found her in the kitchen, making coffee. Want some? She asked casually, as if nothing had changed. Sure, I said, rubbing my eyes. Thanks. She handed me a mug, steam curling up between us. For a moment, it felt normal. Then she said, you need to stop leaving your socks on the floor. I groaned. Seriously? We're divorced, Hannah. Do I still have to follow your rules? Her lips curved slightly. If you live here, yes. Unbelievable, I muttered, but I couldn't help smiling into my coffee. We laughed that morning, but by evening we were arguing again. Why didn't you pay the electric bill? She snapped from across the living room. I thought you were handling it this month. I always handle it. You just assume I'll do everything. Not true. I bought groceries this week. She folded her arms. Congratulations. You want a medal? No, I shot back, just a little less venom. Her glare softened into a sigh. We're impossible. I nodded. Yeah, but somehow we're still here. There were nights, though, when our fights melted into something else. One Friday, she came home from work looking exhausted. She kicked off her shoes and collapsed beside me on the couch. I'm tired, she whispered. Then rest, I said. She leaned against me, her head on my shoulder. The warmth of her hair brushed my cheek, and I froze. You're still comfortable, she murmured. And you're still confusing, I said softly. Her laugh was small, broken. Maybe I like confusing you. When she kissed me that night, I didn't resist. Divorce didn't erase the years we'd shared, and my body still remembered hers. Afterward, I whispered, what are we doing? She turned away. Don't ask questions. Just let it be. So I let it be. Days became a strange rhythm, arguing like enemies, laughing like friends, touching like lovers. I didn't know which mask she'd wear each morning. One night, while we ate takeout in silence, I blurted, do you ever regret us? She set her chopsticks down. Every day. Her bluntness stung. Then why stay here? Her eyes flicked to me, unreadable. Because it's easier than leaving. Easier? Yes, she said simply. And because part of me doesn't hate being with you. I swallowed hard. That's the best I'll get, huh? She smirked faintly. For now. When December came, she started talking about her winter trip to Korea. I'll only be gone 3 weeks, she said one evening. I looked up from the couch. Already planning? Yes. I need it. You always need it. She narrowed her eyes. What's that supposed to mean? Every time things get rough here, you run back there. Her voice sharpened. Don't make it sound like running. It's my home. This is your home too, I argued. Is it? She asked coldly. I had no answer. Over the following weeks, she prepared as if she were moving countries again, packing, making lists, scrolling through flights late at night. One night I asked, why do you need to go every year? She shrugged without looking up. Family, friends, memories. And me? I whispered. Her fingers froze on her phone. Don't start. I'm not starting. I just want to know where I fit in. Her eyes met mine, sharp as glass. You don't. Not anymore. The silence after that cut deeper than her words. Still, there were softer nights. As she folded clothes into her suitcase, I leaned against the doorway. Remember when we moved here and you said the place was too small? She smiled faintly. It is too small. But it was ours, I said. Her hands paused on a sweater. You still think like that? Like ownership fixes everything. I think like that because I wanted us to have something together. She turned to me slowly. You still love me, don't you? Yes, I admitted. Stupidly, I do. Her eyes softened. Then don't. It'll only hurt you more. Too late, I whispered. The night before her flight, we lay side by side in the dark. You'll call me, right? I asked. She sighed. Why? We're divorced. Because I still care. Her voice was tired, but gentle. Maybe I'll call. Maybe not. I turned toward her. Why does it feel like every time you go there, I lose you a little more? She stayed quiet. Hannah, I pressed, are you meeting someone there? She turned to face me, eyes hard. No. Don't accuse me of things I haven't done. I didn't accuse. I asked. And I said no. I swallowed. Then why does it feel like you're already gone? She pulled the blanket tighter around herself. Because maybe I am. I stared at the ceiling, unable to reply. The morning she left, she hugged me at the door. It was quick, almost mechanical. Take care of yourself, she said. I forced a smile. You too. Her suitcase wheels rattled down the hall. I watched until the elevator doors closed, leaving me alone in the silence of our half-empty apartment. I sat on the couch, staring at the space where she'd stood. My chest ached with confusion. We were divorced, yet we kissed. We fought like strangers, yet shared a bed. I still loved her, even as she drifted farther away. I whispered into the emptiness, what are we, Hannah? Friends? Lovers? Strangers? But the walls gave no answer. The apartment felt too quiet without her. I had gotten used to the sound of her footsteps, the smell of her perfume lingering in the hall, the half-open suitcase always leaning against the wall like it never belonged here. Now, with her in Korea, silence pressed on me like a weight. I was lying on the couch when my phone buzzed. The screen lit up with her name. I hesitated, then answered. Hello? Her voice came through broken, almost gasping. I don't know what to do. I sat up straight. Hannah? What's wrong? She was sobbing. She called me his wife. She knows everything. I gripped the phone tighter. What are you talking about? She knows about me. About, years ago. She screamed at me on Kakao Talk. She said she'll sue me. I blinked, confused. Sue you? For what? For the affair. For adultery. I rubbed my forehead. That was years ago, Hannah. 4 years. Why would she sue now? I don't know. Her voice cracked. But she said she has proof. She said she'll destroy me. I stood up, pacing. Wait, hold on. Slow down. How did she even find out? Through the static of her crying, she said, she found essays, old essays I wrote. At the academy. About him. About us. I froze. Essays? Yes. She must have read them. Or maybe he kept them, and she found them. I don't know. But she knows everything. I clenched my teeth. That doesn't make sense. Why now? Why exactly when you're in Korea? Her breath hitched. I swear, I didn't see him. I didn't do anything. Please believe me. I wanted to believe. I wanted to hold on to the hope that maybe, for once, she wasn't lying. But my chest tightened. So what happens now? She sent me a legal notice, Hannah whispered. I need a lawyer. I can't do this alone. I swallowed. And you want my help? Her sob turned into a plea. Please. You're the only one I have. I don't have money for this. I need you. That night, I sat on the couch, staring at the phone long after the call ended. My heart was at war with itself. When I called her back, her voice was small. Will you help me? I exhaled. Tell me exactly what you need. A loan. From your 401k. Just enough to cover a lawyer. Please. I'll pay you back. You know I don't have much saved. I know, she whispered, but without you, I'm finished. I closed my eyes, remembering the first betrayal. Remembering the nights I lay awake, wondering what I wasn't enough for. I shouldn't help you, I said quietly. I know, she admitted, but I'm begging you. Just this once. Her tears filled the silence between us. The next day, she called again, calmer this time. I already spoke to a lawyer, she explained. They said if you give me the right to sue him on your behalf, it'll help. Since we were still married when it happened, you're considered the victim. I gripped the phone tighter. You want me to sue him? The man you cheated with? Yes, she said. Technically you would be suing him. But I'll handle everything. You won't have to lift a finger. And what's in it for me? I asked bitterly. She went silent. Finally, she whispered, justice. I laughed, hollow. Justice? After everything? Her voice cracked. Please. I need you. I didn't answer right away. The silence dragged. Finally, I muttered, fine. Send me the papers. Later, when I video called her, she looked exhausted. Dark circles under her eyes, her hair tied back messily. Are you eating? I asked quietly. I can't, she admitted. I'm too stressed. You brought this on yourself, I said. Her eyes filled with tears. I know. You don't have to remind me. I sighed, rubbing my face. Why didn't you just tell me before? About him. About everything. Because I was afraid you'd leave me, she whispered. I stared at her through the screen. I already did. Her lips trembled. Not completely. The following week, she called again in the middle of the night. Are you awake? She asked softly. I am now. I can't stop shaking, she confessed. Every time my phone buzzes, I think it's her. Or the court. Or him. I sat up in bed. What exactly did she say? She called me disgusting. A homewrecker. She said she'll make me pay for every year of lies. And what did you say? I told her everything. Her words stopped me cold. Everything? Yes. I confessed. I told her what happened between us years ago. Why would you do that? Because I was angry. Because he rejected me, and I wanted her to know the truth. Her voice cracked into sobs. I whispered, you confessed not for guilt. You confessed for revenge. Her silence was answer enough. A few days later, she called again. I signed the paperwork, she said. I need your signature too. Then we can sue him. I don't want to be part of this, I muttered. You don't have to do anything. Just sign. And then what? You win money? Or you ruin his life? Both, she said quietly. I shook my head, even though she couldn't see it. This isn't justice, Hannah. This is another game. Call it what you want. I just need you to stand with me one last time. Her words twisted in my chest. I hated her for asking. I hated myself for still considering. When the papers arrived, I stared at them for a long time. My hand hovered over the line where I needed to sign. I called her. If I do this, it's the last time I'll ever help you. She didn't argue. I understand. You don't. You never will. Maybe not, she whispered. But I still need you. I sighed. Fine. I signed. That night, lying in bed, I called her again. Why did this come out now? I asked. I told you. She found the essays. After 4 years? Yes. It doesn't make sense, I muttered. The timing. You go back to Korea, and suddenly she finds out? Why not a year ago? Why not 2? Her voice sharpened. Are you accusing me? I'm asking. Well, stop asking. I haven't spoken to him since before we moved to the US. You expect me to believe that? I swear. Her insistence sounded desperate, not truthful. I ended the call without saying goodbye. The next morning, my phone buzzed again. Please don't shut me out, she begged. I'm scared. I need you on my side. I rubbed my temples. I don't know which side is yours anymore. It's ours, she whispered. It's always been ours. I almost laughed. Ours? Hannah, there hasn't been an us in years. Her voice cracked. Maybe not. But I can't face this alone. And even though I knew I should walk away, I stayed on the line. Because I still cared. Because I still loved her, even when it hurt. The envelope sat on the table like it was waiting to trap me. I stared at it, my chest tight, my mind torn in two. When I picked it up, I called her. I got the papers. Her voice came quick, shaky. Good. Just sign them, send them back, and we'll be okay. We? I repeated. I thought this was about you. It's about us, she insisted. You're still my husband in Korea. The court sees you as the victim. Without you, I have no case. I rubbed my forehead. You want me to sue him? The man you cheated with? Yes, she said without hesitation. And you don't see the problem with that? Her voice cracked. I see the problem, but I don't have a choice. That night, I sat at the kitchen table, pen in hand, staring at the signature line. I called her again. Why now, Hannah? I asked. I told you, his wife found the essays. I shook my head. After 4 years? She just stumbled on them. It happens, Hannah said quickly. No, I muttered, it doesn't just happen. The timing doesn't make sense. You're in Korea, and suddenly she finds out. Too convenient. Her breath caught. Are you saying I'm lying? I'm saying it doesn't add up. Her tone rose, panicked. Why would I lie about this? Because you've lied before, I said quietly. The silence on the line stretched long. Finally, she whispered, I haven't seen him. I swear. I wanted to believe. God, I wanted to believe. The next day, she called again, her tone softer. Please, she said. Just trust me this once. If you sign, I can handle the rest. You won't have to think about it again. I leaned against the wall. You keep saying, trust me, but you've burned that word to ashes. Then don't do it for trust, she whispered. Do it because I'm begging you. Do it because you loved me once. My chest ached. Still love, I admitted. That's the problem. Then let that love mean something, she pleaded. When the video call connected later that night, her face looked drawn, her eyes red. I can't sleep, she confessed. Maybe you'd sleep better if you stopped keeping secrets. She winced. Stop. Please. Not tonight. I can't stop, I said. My instincts are screaming. Something's wrong here. She leaned closer to the camera, her voice trembling. Then ignore your instincts. Listen to me instead. I stared at her pixelated face. That's what got me here in the first place. Her eyes filled with tears. I know I hurt you. But right now, I'm drowning. Will you let me drown? I swallowed hard. No. Then sign, she said softly. The following morning, I held the pen again. My mind split into 2 voices. One screamed, don't do it. She's lying again. Protect yourself. The other whispered, you still love her. She needs you. One last time. I called her. If I sign, what happens after? The lawyer files the suit. He'll suffer the consequences. Not you. And you? I'll be safe. I closed my eyes. You promise? Yes, she breathed. I promise. Her promises had always been smoke, but I wanted to believe just once more. Later that night, I confronted her again. Tell me the truth, I demanded. Is this really about 4 years ago? Or did you see him again? Her voice went sharp. No. I told you already. I haven't spoken to him since before we moved. I pressed harder. Then why does this feel like déjà vu? Why does my gut say you're hiding something? She shouted, because you don't trust me. Should I? I fired back. She broke then, her voice cracking. I'm scared, okay? I'm terrified. And you're making it worse. I let the silence stretch. My heart pounded. She was hiding something, I knew it. But her fear sounded real. Finally, I muttered, fine. I'll sign. Her relief came fast. Thank you. You don't know what this means. I whispered, no, Hannah. I know exactly what it means. I signed the papers that night. As the pen scraped across the line, I felt something snap inside me. It wasn't just my signature, it was me handing over the last piece of myself. I stared at the ink bleeding into the paper and whispered to no one, this is the last time. But I knew it wouldn't be. The notification blinked on my phone, new message. I almost ignored it. But then I saw the sender's name, one I hadn't expected, one I hoped I'd never see again. It was him. For a long time, I just stared at the subject line, apology. My hand trembled as I finally opened it. I'm sorry for contacting you like this. I got your email from a mutual connection. I know I don't have the right, but I need to tell you the truth. You deserve to hear it from me, not through her lies. I sat up, heart pounding. Lies. I kept reading. She reached out to me when she came back to Korea in late 2024. She wanted to meet. At first, I resisted. I told her I was trying for a second child with my wife. But she insisted. I finally agreed to lunch, thinking if I refused she might escalate things. At lunch, she asked to sleep with me. I said no. I drove her to the subway and left. My hands shook. A few days later she texted again, saying she still had feelings. She asked if I did too. I told her clearly, I didn't. I wanted nothing more with her. That's when she snapped. She found my wife's number and contacted her herself. She told her everything. That's how this started. I dropped the phone onto the couch, my breath shallow. I picked it back up with trembling fingers and scrolled further. I regret ever being involved with her, even years ago. I'm sorry you were dragged into this. I know you don't owe me anything, but I needed you to know the truth. I can prove what I'm saying if you need it. I leaned forward, elbows on my knees, head in my hands. The words blurred in my mind. She reached out. She asked. She confessed herself. Everything she had told me crumbled. I typed a shaky reply, send me proof. Hours later, another email arrived. Attached were screenshots, her messages to him, her confession to his wife. I opened the first screenshot. Hannah's words glared back at me. I still have feelings for you. Don't you? I wanted to see you. I thought you wanted me too. Another screenshot, his reply. No. I don't. Please stop contacting me. I love my wife. I don't want this. Then hers again. If you won't have me, maybe your wife should know what we did back then. She deserves the truth. I gripped the phone so tightly my knuckles whitened. Another screenshot, messages from her to his wife, line after line of confession. Not guilt, not remorse, but anger. I whispered to myself, she's the one who told her. Not him. Her. I called her immediately. She picked up on the third ring. "Hey," she said cautiously. My voice was low. "I got an email." Her breath hitched. "From who?" "Him." She stayed silent. "He told me everything," I said. "That you contacted him. That you begged to meet. That you confessed to his wife yourself." "That's not true," she said quickly. "He's lying." "No," I snapped. "I saw the screenshots. Your words. You said you still had feelings. You threatened to tell his wife if he rejected you." She went quiet. "Say something," I demanded. Finally, she whispered, "He twisted it." "No," I hissed. "These are your messages. I'm staring at them right now." She started to cry. "I didn't mean it like that. I was angry. I was hurt." "Hurt?" I shouted. "You went to him. You wanted him again. And when he said no, you burned the house down." Her sobs echoed through the phone. "I just wanted closure." "Closure?" I laughed bitterly. "You booked hotels. You begged him. That's not closure, that's obsession." Her voice cracked. "Please don't hate me. Hannah," I said through clenched teeth, "you've lied to me every step of the way. If he hadn't emailed me, I'd still be in the dark. Do you get that? The only reason I know is because he told me. Not you." She whispered, "I was scared you'd leave if you knew." "I already left," I said coldly. Later that night, he emailed me again. "I'm sorry to burden you with this. I thought honesty was better than silence. If you want, I can show you the full chat history. You'll see I told her no again and again." She wouldn't let go. I stared at the screen, numb. My phone buzzed, "Hannah again." "Please," she begged when I answered. "Don't believe everything he says. He showed me your words, Hannah. Not his, yours." Her breathing turned ragged. "I only reached out because I was lonely. Because you don't talk to me the way he did." I slammed my fist against the table. "So you ran back to him? After everything? After we destroyed each other the first time?" "I thought maybe he still cared," she whispered. I laughed bitterly. "And when he didn't, you tried to destroy his life. And mine. Again." I couldn't sleep that night. I kept scrolling through the screenshots, reading them again and again, as if the words might change if I stared long enough. Every line cut deeper. Her, "I miss you. I want you again." His, "Please stop. I don't feel that way." Her, "Then your wife deserves to know." I whispered into the dark, "How could you, Hannah? How could you?" The next morning, she called again. "Let's talk," she pleaded. "There's nothing left to say." "Yes, there is. Please. Hear me out." I stayed silent. Finally, she said, "I didn't love him. Not really. I just needed someone to listen." "Don't," I said sharply. "Don't rewrite the story. You loved him. You chased him. And when he rejected you, you lashed out like a child." Her sobs filled the line. I was weak. "No," I said coldly. "You were cruel." By evening, another email came. This time, longer. "I don't want to contact you again after this. But I want to be clear, I rejected her. I told her I didn't want her. I told her to stop. She didn't. I'm sorry for what happened years ago, but this time, it wasn't me. I hope you can heal." I read it 3 times before shutting my laptop. I felt hollow, gutted, betrayed all over again. For years, she swore there had been no contact. She swore the affair was over. She swore the distance meant freedom. But now, the truth lay in black and white, she had never let him go. And maybe she never would. I held my phone in my hand like it was a weapon. The screenshots glared back at me, her words to him, her confession to his wife. Every letter burned. My chest ached, but I knew I couldn't carry it in silence anymore. I dialed her number. She picked up quickly. "Hey," she said softly. "Hannah," I said, my voice shaking, "We need to talk." "About what?" "You know what." She hesitated. "If this is about her, I already told you." "No," I cut in. "This isn't about what you told me. It's about what I know now." Silence. "I got proof," I said. Her voice rose, sharp. "Proof of what?" "Screenshots. Messages. From you to him. From you to his wife." I could almost hear her breath catch. "That's impossible," she whispered. "No," I said. "It's undeniable. I've read every word. You begged him to see you. You said you still loved him. You threatened to tell his wife when he rejected you." She started to cry. "He must have twisted it." "Don't," I snapped. "Don't you dare tell me I didn't read what I just read." Her sobs grew louder. "I didn't mean it the way it sounds." I laughed bitterly. "Then explain it, Hannah. Explain to me why you reached out to him, after all these years. Explain why you begged for him again while you were still living with me." She stayed silent. I pressed harder. "Why didn't you just tell me? Why did you make me believe there was no contact after 2020? Her voice cracked. "Because I knew you'd leave." "I already did." I shouted. "I left the day you destroyed us the first time. The only reason we were still here was because I was stupid enough to think maybe, just maybe, we could be something again." She sobbed into the phone. "I'm sorry." "No," I hissed. "You're not sorry. You're sorry you got caught." Later that night, she called me again. I almost didn't answer, but I did. "Please don't shut me out," she begged. "Please. I can explain." "Then explain." Her breathing was shaky. "I reached out because I was lonely. You don't talk to me like he did. You never did. I needed someone who understood me." My heart twisted. "So you went back to him? Again?" "I thought maybe he still cared. I thought maybe there was something left. And when he told you no, you burned his marriage to the ground." She didn't answer. "Say it," I demanded. "Say that you're the one who told his wife." She whispered. I was angry. "I wasn't thinking." "Don't lie to me again," I growled. Her silence was deafening. I wanted her to lie. I wanted her to say he had faked everything, that the screenshots were forged, that she was still the woman I once believed in. I wanted to keep pretending, because the truth was tearing me apart. But she didn't lie. When she finally spoke, her voice was small, broken. "Yes." I told her. The words hit me harder than any slap. I sat down on the couch, clutching the phone like it might shatter in my hand. "You ruined everything," I whispered. "I know," she said. "Years," I choked out. "You lied for years. You swore to me. Over and over, you swore there was no contact. And the whole time, you were still chasing him." "I didn't want to lose you," she whispered. "You lost me a long time ago," I said coldly. The next day, she called again. I answered with a hollow voice. "Why?" I asked. "Why him? Why after all this time?" She cried softly. "Because he understood me. Because he spoke my language. Because you and I, we were always on different pages." My stomach turned. "So that's it. I wasn't enough." "You were enough in other ways," she said quickly. "You provided. You cared. But emotionally, I needed more." "And he gave you that?" "Yes," she whispered. I wanted to scream, but all I said was, "You disgust me." Her sobs filled the silence. That night, I confronted her one last time. "Tell me everything," I demanded. "There's nothing else. Everything, Hannah. No more half-truths. No more pretending." She hesitated. Then the dam broke. We never stopped talking. Even after we moved. We used Instagram, Snapchat, Google Docs. Different accounts. I couldn't let go. I closed my eyes, my chest collapsing inward. So all those years, every time I asked, you lied straight to my face. Yes, she whispered. And you let me love you anyway. Her sob was barely audible. Because I still loved you too. I laughed bitterly. You don't love someone and keep stabbing them in the same wound. The silence stretched until I spoke again. Do you even understand what you've done to me? Her voice cracked. I destroyed you. Yes, I said quietly. You did. Please don't hate me, she begged. I didn't answer right away. My throat felt raw. Finally, I whispered, I don't know if I can feel anything else anymore. The call ended. I sat in the dark, staring at the screenshots on my phone. My narration cracked inside my own skull, raw, broken, full of disbelief. She had confessed. She had admitted everything. And instead of feeling free, I felt hollow. Her betrayal wasn't just a mistake. It was a choice, repeated again and again, layered with lies. I whispered to myself, she killed us. And I let her do it. I sat across from her at the kitchen table, my phone between us like a loaded gun. The screenshots glowed on the screen, undeniable. My hands trembled, but my voice came out steady. Tell me everything, I said. She stared at the table. I already told you. No, I snapped. Not pieces. Not half-truths. All of it. Her eyes flicked up. You don't want to know. I leaned forward. I've lived in hell already. What could be worse? Her lips trembled. We never really stopped talking. The air left my chest. What? She whispered, since 2020. I never stopped. My head spun. You told me, you swore. I know, she cut in. I swore because I was afraid. Afraid you'd leave. I slammed my hand against the table. You lied to me for years. She flinched but didn't deny it. Where? I demanded. How? Her hands twisted in her lap. Instagram. Snapchat. Google Docs. Different emails. We always found a way. My stomach turned. So every time I asked, every time you looked me in the eye and said it was over. I lied, she whispered. I laughed bitterly. And you didn't even hesitate. Her tears fell. I didn't want to lose either of you. I shot up from the chair. You had me living with a ghost while you chased him. She covered her face. I couldn't stop. I paced the kitchen, my chest burning. Did you meet him? Her silence was enough. Answer me. Her voice cracked. Yes. When? She hesitated. 2023. My fists clenched. Where? A hotel, she admitted. I staggered back. God. Her voice broke. I booked it. I begged him. He didn't even want to come, but I cut her off, shaking. Don't tell me details. But you asked, she whispered. I pressed my palms to my temples. I asked for the truth. Not for a knife to the throat. Minutes passed in silence before I asked again. So it wasn't just messages. You saw him. You slept with him. Her nod was almost invisible. My voice cracked. How long? Her words were soft, almost ashamed. Until summer 2024. I staggered. 4 years. You lied to me for 4 years. She cried harder. It wasn't constant. It was. I snapped. Don't you dare soften it. Don't you dare call it less than what it was. Her voice rose in desperation. I loved him. The word stabbed me clean through. I stared at her, hollow. Say it again. Her lips quivered. I loved him. I wanted to scream, but only a whisper came. And me? Her tears streaked her face. I loved you too. No, I said coldly. You don't love 2 people at once. You use one and worship the other. She shook her head. I was torn. You weren't torn, I growled. You chose him. Over and over again. And you lied to me just to keep me as a safety net. Her silence was an admission. I collapsed into a chair, my thoughts breaking apart. All this time. I defended you. I believed you. I thought I was paranoid. But it was all true. Worse than I imagined. She whispered, I wanted both worlds. I wanted security with you, passion with him. Her words were knives. You built 2 lives, I said hollowly. And I was the fool feeding yours while you chased his shadow. I was weak, she whispered. No, I snapped. You were selfish. I buried my face in my hands. Do you know what this does to me? Knowing every touch, every kiss from you was already contaminated? She sobbed. I still wanted you. I lifted my head. Then why was I never enough? Her silence was crushing. I pressed on, though it tore me apart. Did you plan to leave me for him? Her eyes flickered. At first, maybe. I froze. At first? She nodded. But he never wanted to leave his wife. He kept pushing me back. I settled for what I had with you. I laughed bitterly. So I was your consolation prize. Her tears spilled faster. That's not true. It's exactly true, I spat. You would have left me in a heartbeat if he'd said yes. She shook her head, but her silence betrayed her. The kitchen felt colder, emptier. I could barely breathe. You've been lying so long, I don't think you even know what truth is anymore. Her voice cracked. This is the truth. All of it. I shook my head. Too late. The truth should have come years ago. She reached across the table. Please, don't look at me like that. I pulled my hands back. Like what? Like I'm a monster. I whispered, you made yourself one. She collapsed in sobs, her voice breaking. I didn't want to lose you. You already lost me, I whispered. I didn't want to hurt you. I laughed bitterly. You stabbed me 1,000 times and only worried when I finally saw the blood. She buried her face in her hands. I was addicted to him. I couldn't let go. And you never even tried, I said coldly. Her whisper came through the sobs. No. The room spun around me. I gripped the table, barely holding on. Do you understand what you've done? You didn't just break a marriage, you broke me. Her eyes were swollen. I know. I don't think you do, I said, my voice cracking. I'll never look at love the same way. I'll never trust the same way. You killed that part of me. Her tears fell silently. I'm sorry. I shook my head. You're not sorry. You're empty. We sat in silence, only her sobs filling the space. I felt hollow, stripped of everything I thought was real. Finally, I whispered, I wish you had lied again. She looked up, confused. What? I wish you'd lied. Because the truth is worse than anything I could have imagined. She broke down again, but I turned away, my chest shattered. The hidden years weren't hidden anymore. And they had destroyed me. I didn't shout anymore. I didn't throw questions at her. I just sat in silence while she paced the apartment, phone in hand, muttering in Korean under her breath. They're saying my name online, she said one night, eyes red. My friends keep messaging me. Everyone knows. I stared at my coffee. Good. She spun toward me. Good? That's all you can say? Yes. Her voice cracked. Do you want me ruined? I don't want anything, I said quietly. I'm just watching. She slammed her phone on the counter. You're cold. You're acting like you don't care. I looked up at her slowly. I cared for years. You killed it. Another day she came home shaking. His wife filed another motion, she said. They're asking for more money. My lawyer says it's serious. I didn't look at her. Say something, she begged. What do you want me to say? That you'll help me. I gave a small, bitter laugh. Help you hide what you did? No. Her eyes filled with tears. You're my husband. Even if we're divorcing, you're still. I'm nothing, I cut in. Just a name you used to sign a paper so you could sue him. She winced. Don't say it like that. That's exactly what it was, I said coldly. She sat across from me at the kitchen table, looking like a ghost. They're calling me names online, she whispered. Slut. Homewrecker. My old students are messaging me. My parents are ashamed. I stayed silent. Please, say something, she pleaded. Anything. I stirred my tea slowly. Karma's heavy, isn't it? Her breath caught. You think I deserve this? You earned it, I said. She covered her face. I thought you'd still stand by me. Why? I asked. So you can lean on me while you collapse from the weight you built yourself? Another evening, she blocked my path at the door. Where are you going? Out, I said flatly. With who? No one. Her eyes darted. Are you seeing someone? I almost laughed. After everything? No. I'm just walking. Breathing. She bit her lip. You're leaving me already, aren't you? I've been gone a long time, I said quietly. She grabbed my arm. Please. Don't leave completely. Not yet. I stared at her hand on my arm until she let go. Why? So I can keep watching you drown? Her eyes filled. Because I can't survive alone. Weeks passed like that. She spiraled, her calls to Korea growing louder, angrier. I stayed quiet. One night she slammed the bedroom door open. Mr. Lee's wife posted everything online, she said. Screenshots. My name. My picture. People at my old job are sharing it. I leaned against the doorway. And? I'm ruined, she whispered. No one will hire me. My parents say I shouldn't come home. I shrugged. Sounds like the truth finally caught up. She glared at me. You're enjoying this. I met her eyes. No. I'm just done carrying it. The next morning she tried a different tactic. She came to me, her voice soft. I know I hurt you. But we're still in this together. No, I said. We're not. You're my husband, she said desperately. Not in the way you think, I replied. You lost that right. Her face twisted. So you'll just watch me fall apart? Yes. You're cruel. I'm quiet, I said. There's a difference. She sat at the edge of the couch, eyes hollow. They're threatening to garnish my accounts. The lawyer says if I can't pay, they'll come after you too. I finally looked at her. I didn't cheat. I didn't chase him. I didn't contact his wife. This is yours. You won't protect me, she whispered. You didn't protect me, I said coldly. Her hands trembled. I thought you loved me enough. I did, I said. But love isn't a shield for betrayal. Another night, she came into my room, crying. Do you ever think about how we used to be? Yes, I said simply. Do you hate me? I stared at the ceiling. I don't feel hate. I feel nothing. She crawled closer. Can't we fix it? No. Why? Because you're still trying to use me to escape your own karma. Her tears dripped onto my arm. I'm scared. You should be, I whispered. Days blurred into weeks. Her lawyer's calls became frantic. Mr. Lee's wife kept filing. The gossip spread. One morning she slammed her phone down. He's divorcing her, she said. She's leaving him. It's my fault. I raised an eyebrow. You thought it wouldn't be? She looked at me like a child. I didn't think she'd actually go through with it. Karma doesn't ask permission, I said. She flinched. You're enjoying this. No, I said. I'm learning from it. What are you learning? That silence can be louder than revenge. She tried again that night. If you still love me, just say it, she whispered. I didn't answer. Please, she begged. I need to hear it. I looked at her for a long time. I loved you. Past tense. She broke then, her sobs echoing through the apartment. Don't leave me, she cried. I stood up slowly. I already did. After that, I spoke less and less. She still tried, pleading, bargaining, crying, but my silence became a wall. I watched as karma unfolded, her reputation in Korea in tatters, Mr. Lee's marriage falling apart, her parents' shame spreading like wildfire. And me? I sat with my coffee, breathing for the first time in years. She once asked, "Why don't you fight me? Yell? Hit me back with words?" Because I'd learned. My silence wasn't weakness. It was my revenge. One night, she sat across from me, eyes swollen, voice hoarse. "Do you even see me anymore?" I looked at her calmly. "I see you. For the first time." Her tears spilled. "What do you see?" "A stranger," I said. She covered her mouth, a soft sob escaping. "You've changed." "No," I whispered. I finally stopped pretending. Karma's weight wasn't mine anymore. It was hers. And for the first time in years, I felt almost free. The papers came in the mail on a gray morning. I sat at the table staring at them, my name beside hers, the word divorce stamped in black ink. It didn't feel real until I touched the page. Hannah walked in, her eyes swollen. "Is that it?" "Yes." She froze. "So, it's over?" "Yes," I said again. Her voice broke. "Can't we try again?" I shook my head. "We already tried. Too many times." I packed my things in silence. Each drawer, each box felt like I was digging up a grave. Hannah leaned against the doorframe, watching. "Do you have to go today?" "Yes." Her lip trembled. "Please, stay a little longer." "Just tonight." "No," I said firmly. "Dragging it out won't change the ending." She stepped forward. "You don't have to hate me." I looked at her. "I don't." Her eyes widened. "You don't?" I shook my head. "I feel nothing now." "That's worse than hate." She followed me into the living room. "Where will you go?" "Somewhere else." "Doesn't matter where." "Do you already have someone?" she asked quickly. I laughed bitterly. "No. I'm not you." She flinched. "That's not fair." I set the last box down. Nothing about this was fair. When I lifted my bag, she grabbed my arm. "Don't leave me like this. Say something. Anything." I turned slowly. "What do you want me to say?" "That you'll miss me." I stayed silent. "That you'll remember me," she whispered. I pulled my arm free. "I'll remember what you did. That's enough." At the door, she broke down. "I'm begging you. Don't walk out like this. I have to. Please, just one more chance." "No." She sobbed. "I'll change. I'll cut all ties. I shook my head. "You already had every chance. And you chose lies every time." Her voice cracked. "So that's it? After everything?" "Yes." I opened the door. She rushed forward, clutching at my shirt. "Say goodbye at least. Please. Don't leave without a word." I met her eyes. "Goodbye, Hannah." She collapsed to her knees, crying. "I still love you." I stood in the doorway, my chest hollow but steady. "You shattered me. But in doing so, you set me free." I stepped out, closed the door behind me, and didn't look back. If you like my story, please do like and subscribe my channel.